So if you think about it, what makes a network really robust is not only investors in it, i.e. token holders, but when people are developing on it, and then you're developing other projects on it that also have investors on top, you're creating network effects. So if you think of ETH in those terms, so there's now demand for the network, which is why ETH is so expensive, gas fees are so expensive, because everybody wants to use ETH. Okay, and then you've got the other phenomena where those expensive gas fees are going to burning ETH. So what you're doing is taking ETH out of supply as well. And that's, I think, the key reason why ETH was up 450% last year and Bitcoin was up 60%. It's to do with the robustness of the network and that burning of tokens and the fact that Bitcoin doesn't have Ethereum, doesn't have NFTs, doesn't have smart contracts. It doesn't have any of this on it. It's got the Lightning layer, but the Lightning layer, basically what it does is batches a bunch of transactions on one blockchain slot. So you're actually not using vast amounts of the network. So I think that's why Ethereum did so well versus Bitcoin last year.
One thing now that I do really want to ask you about is, we've covered Ethereum, the likes of Solana, the likes of Avalanche, the likes of Cardano. This year, what's your expectations for these? Because we've talked about Ethereum and what you're expecting. What about these other solutions?
They've been moving fast because of Ethereum's expensive or slow versus some of the use cases. And so those have seen network effects as people have come away from using Ethereum. So it's a replacement trade. It's not new money coming into this. So it's just been basically a rotation. When everybody's looking at the rotation to continue, because everyone's now figured out, oh yeah, these layer ones, that's what we need, they don't work anymore. So it moves to the next thing. And whether that's interoperability, whether it's, beating up DeFi because nobody's interested in DeFi anymore, I don't know. All I do know is that when everybody's looking at something, it doesn't happen.
Is there any predictions for 2022 in the industry that you have that might be something that we've not covered yet that you're expecting to see or hoping to see?
I think that, and I've been alluding this for some time because it's stuff that I'm working on that I can't really talk about, but I think this is the year of social tokens. People don't really yet, I talk about it, people don't really get it. We're seeing Bored Ape start with the ape token. There's some of these, but these are still small scale. We're going to see some gigantic communities tokenize, and we'll see the power of token economics. So that's the big thing that people aren't aware of because they haven't seen it yet. So that's my big prediction for this year. In terms of price, I don't know. I kind of got it right and wrong last year. I said Ethereum was going to be the big trade, and that did really well. I did think Bitcoin would end up much higher than 100,000. I thought it was close to 150,000, and it stopped at 69,000 wherever it got to. And so I don't know if I'm qualified to make them a prediction, but I stick with, I use the logarithmic channel and the upside for Bitcoin. If we get traction again, particularly if we end up with some central bank easing, which I think we will get the last part of the year or allusion to it, I still think Bitcoin can probably do, it could probably do 300% or so this year, and ETH could do more, significantly more again.
It's really interesting, and I think a lot of people are going to be thrilled with that prediction as well. It seems like a very
but you have to discount the fact that I didn't get it right last year. I mean, I got it right because I made a lot of money from it, but I didn't get it right in terms of price prediction. Price predictions are impossible because the texture of markets changes over the year, and you need to understand what that means. I mean, I'm not in this for the short term, so I don't really care, which is so. But all I care about is the adoption and stuff like that. So yeah, it's tricky to make predictions, but we'll see. Well, look, it did a whole sideways, right? So it's right now it's about zero returns over a 12-month time horizon. So we've just had basically a bear market. So a whole sideways year. Normally after that, you tend to get a larger parabolic rise.
What advice would you give for people that are video creators, that are looking to expand their knowledge into crypto, people that are just getting in this year and kickstarting their journey?
I think take people along your journey with you, right? Nobody's got this figured out. Anybody who claims to have is a liar. We're all figuring out, it's brand new and it's a lot of fun. And if you're a content creator, be authentically you and don't pretend to know everything, and just go on that knowledge of that journey of knowledge, and you'll bring people with you because there's millions of people like you who are also exactly the same point, and they just want somebody to take them along for the ride. And that's what I've done. I did my whole kind of Raoul's Adventures in Crypto on Real Vision Crypto was just me trying to figure it out. And you end up with, hundreds of thousands of people following you in that journey because they want to see what I figure out and see what they can, if they can join the dots too. I have added a bit to Ethereum, and I'll add more. I haven't yet. I will broaden out and do some more stuff. I'm trying to decide what to look at. I'm probably looking at some of the beaten down DeFi tokens and some other areas of the market that have been kind of beaten down because we've had this kind of big sloppy sideways range now for months and months and months and months and months. But some of the market's been killed within that. So I'm starting to look at that stuff. Haven't yet deployed any money to it, but we're getting there. But I have been buying ETH.
And you have, say, $50,000 to allocate. What would you look at allocating right now based on the previous trends that we have seen and where we're looking to head moving forward?
So I look at it in terms of network effects, what networks are growing within crypto. So Ethereum's the kind of biggest, most robust network in terms of the number of developers, the number of people investing in it. So that makes that one of your base, investments. Bitcoin, being the OG in the space, is another base investment. But then you want to start probably going a little bit further out on the risk curve. So we're seeing these layer ones, stuff like Terra, Avalanche, and probably Solana. Interesting. Then I think maybe 2022 is going to be the year of interoperability. So we're looking at, Polygon, Quant, and a few other things that might give us those opportunities. And DeFi's been quiet now for a year and a half. So I think we might see the next wave of DeFi, along with NFTs and social tokens. So there's a lot to play for still this year. Lots happening.
What are you expecting from Ethereum price from this, and also the Ethereum price structure building up to ETH 2.0?
So, it's the structure leading up is I don't know, because there's a bunch of things going on, which is the network's been slow because retail investors have had their earnings crimped by inflation, so they've had less marginal money to be able to put in. There's the Fed tightening, central banks tightening. So there's a lot going on in this picture right now, which is why these prices have been wide-ranging and sideways. Usually, these big events are a turning point one way or the other. So if you went into it at a high in ETH, much like we went into the ETF or we went into the Coinbase listing was the absolute high to the day. Because what you did with the Coinbase listing is you gave people another alternative. So before they were forced into opening Bitcoin accounts, then they didn't have to, so they bought the equity, and you lost billions and tens of billions of dollars of demand. So it depends what happens to ETH 2.0 and where it is. Because if the price is at a high, then all of the people who've been staking are likely to take profits when they can unstake. Now, when they unlock that stake, everybody else in the market knows that there'll be a seller, so you'll force them out at a lower price. It's just how markets work. If we go in at a low, then it's going to be like the Bitcoin halving, where suddenly this triple halving event happens and the price just recovers automatically because so much ETH is burnt. So I don't really know. I was expecting ETH to have been stronger into the back end of the year, and so therefore I was expecting this whole thing to be at a high. I just don't know yet.
But you did buy some more ETH.
I did.
In January, in 20.
Oh yeah, I'm still bullish. I mean, I haven't sold a single thing. I've done nothing but buy for 18 months, and I haven't sold a single thing. 20 months now.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3,000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where to start? My name is Gunnar, and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. Fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, you won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.